Right, hello chums. The last film I put out of a box load of 172nd German AFVs was part two of a two-parter because the box was so crammed with stuff it would have gone on for too long. So accidentally I put the second half up first, so now I'm obliged to put the first half up second. I could do all kinds of things on eBay. Oh, hello, that was a slip. On YouTube, but that feels like faking it. So here is part one. Enjoy. I'd just done the film on finding the box of Allied 172nd tanks and things. That was about an hour ago, and I've just uncovered another box, and I've got a clue that this might be similar. I have not opened the lid yet. There's some horrible packaging. What do we have? Yes, indeed. But this is predominantly, by the look of it, oh, this is all over the show. This is German, Russian, and a conversion. Yes, this could be fun. Right, let me get the packaging off and we'll get them out. What a box. First of all, it's worth mentioning it's 2 layers. I can see some other creatures down below. The other thing is I do not remember packing either of these, which means I must have done them in a terrible rush, because that's a tiger that I featured in a film a couple of years ago, I think. Looks damaged. And there's some king tigers. There might be a bit of a story behind those, so I haven't even got them out yet, and it's proving difficult to comprehend what's going on. Yeah, let's get them going. Let's get them out. As the right, the top layer, a tiger tank. I'm sure this, I haven't got the computer nearby, I would have a look, but I'm sure this is from an earlier film. Although, I might be wrong. It's definitely not Airfix, I can say that, and it has a combination of spray and hand painted goings on. I will eventually look back and see what I can find about that, and that bit's dropped off. So I do not know what to say about that. I had a look underneath and I couldn't see any sign of manufacturer, which may mean I've spattered it with glue or something. Anyway, we're going to go in chronological order now, as in chronological order when I bought them and made them. That one, that's had a repaint. That's probably in my early, probably 12, 13-ish when I got into spraying, as I said before. But I must have made this probably when I was about 9. We might have lost a wheel, or yeah, we have. I mean, I can see there's one missing, but thought I'd got a wheel in the box there. So that goes back a long time. Round figures 50 years, probably a tiny bit less. I'm not afraid of being old. I just can't do the maths. Oh no, that won't be right. Next oldest in the Germans, that is apologies for such a boring piece of footage there, but I've got a bit of track problem. Panzer IV, and that probably about the same age, and again it's been resprayed, and the little fella is obviously from ESCI or ESCI. So the respray means you lose your markings. I've probably got bags of spare ones somewhere. I must have prized the hatch doors off to get that little fella on. But there we are. For me, in my teens, that's not a bad paint job, to be quite honest. Now we jump, and yeah, this is definitely ESCI esky. ESCI is what me and my mates called it, but people tell me I'm wrong. And this is not a repaint job, actually. This was it. This was the real thing, which I'm very surprised at. So when did I get that? That would have been when I was going to visit relatives in London, going to the big model shop. I think I'd have been about 10 or 11. That one came out remarkably well for me. More from the same manufacturer. That is that was a Panzer III, obviously, and that was painted dark grey. But then I can vaguely remember this one because of the effect, the surface effect, which I might have to borrow and do again. I just watered down a sand coloured paint with a lot of probably Terps White Spirit in those days, and just drizzled it over it. It could do with a little bit of upgrade on the weathering, but it's done alright. I'm really surprised at that. I do remember that terrible gun mantlet being a problem. Couldn't get that right. But anyway, there's that one. One hatch missing, and that now leads us on to Matchbox. So eventually I got round to liking Matchbox. I can tell this is the original and not the one I did ages ago because there's no tracks. The spare wheel is black for some reason and it's all a bit battered. But I loved making that model. I can remember that. Same again with this one. And this is a repaint job. I did very weird things with this one, paint wise. I painted it like almost like British Mickey Mouse colours, and then put dollops of plasticine over the top, and then sprayed it with a desert sand like colour. But it's reasonable. I think I'd have been about 13, 14 for those two Matchbox jobs. Oh, and then there's this. I think this is from the El Alamein set, because despite losing two wheels, I think no, it's the wrong size. That's yellow plastic. Anyway, we got one of those. I will be able to look. I mean, let's face it, I got one spare wheel anyway. But I might be able to. Oh yeah, the gun goes up and down. Find some wheels somewhere. Then we have this, and I was looking underneath, and it looks like it's ESCI, because it's got that little flag shape, and I just about see the lettering. This is a bit of a mess. I think I reworked it. It was probably just grey. I love the Brumbar, and grey or brown is how I like them. But yeah, that one's got hammered. It wasn't meant to be that badly like damaged, but it ended up being so bashed around as a kid that I had to kind of rework it. And there's a bit of the additional armour. Then we've got this. This is ESCI. I'm pretty sure he says unconfidently. Can't remember which version of the gun it is. And then I got bits and pieces from all kinds of other things and slapped them all over, because I'd seen a photograph of one a bit like that. Oh, look what I did. I cut the track away. I was starting to get frustrated by the time I was about 13 by the fact that the track was so, at times, so buoyant that your model tank would bounce around. You know, it would be on springy track, so I cut that off and I put it all over the tank for protection. But inspired by a photograph I'd seen. And again, I've done crazy things with the paint job, which might come in handy for something else, that technique, if I can remember how I did it. Anyway, there it is. I'm certain it's ESCI. Oh, look at the back. Just dark, as if, just dark brown. And I've got the rear mudguard. So we can get all that back together. If it's not ESCI, it must be some American company from that shop in London that I went to as a teenager. Now we have two Airfix, same, but unfinished. Are we sure they're Airfix? Or are they armour fast, seeing as I've got two? Nothing on the bottom that's noticeable. I could be wrong, but I did these when the computer was playing up, and they're unfinished. And in both, I coiled the track up to try and get it to naturally be curly and not battle with it. Who makes tracks like that? And then I just left them. Strange fella. I think because I realised the computer was eating the films by then. So we'll get back to those. We might have a very small fleet. And who's he? Where's he come from? He's hard plastic. And he actually looks like some kind of alpine figure. But towards the end of the war they were wearing all sorts, weren't they? Particularly in the winter, keep them warm. So that's layer 1. I'm going in for layer 2. Layer 2. And the camera's not focusing. What is up with you? Here we are, a little bit of hand focus. That does the job. What a shambles. Let's get these out then. Oh, hang on. We didn't do those. Got to go back. This is layer 1, part 2. Right. So first of all, in the ancient department, we've got a T-34 Airfix, and yeah, this is what I feared. I can't turn the turret properly. Oh, there we go. Because it's got those sort of two arms rather than a pin and a hole to hold the turret in place, which I prefer. But look at the state this thing's in, but looking rather magnificent. Now I've done it like this because I heard that they were whisking these things out of the factory so swiftly that they weren't even giving them a proper finished surface and they were rusting, which attracted my attention as a kid. This is hand painted. Oh, come on. And I was flicking the paint because my cousin told me about doing that. I reckon I was 9 or 10 when I did this one. How many wheels are missing? Oh, 2, and the same on either side. And half a hatch missing. Oh, the cat won't give up. What do you want, mate? I've fed you. Then the Matchbox version, somewhat smaller, but again I was going for the unfinished surface. I'll have to make one of these and do it green. But yeah, I enjoyed making that one. You get a nice little base for that, which I obviously can't find. This is from when the camera and the computer weren't getting on, and I think it's an incredible tank and it deserves a better model, but it was a step back in time because this is the second tank I ever made. Obviously not this one, but a version of, and I was almost, it was so impressive I was almost frightened by it. I knew nothing about it at the time. My dad said they're still using them. I couldn't believe how space age it looked. Now, Hasegawa. course, as a kid, I was just knocked out by that gigantic turret and a massive gun. Disappointed to find that it wasn't particularly successful. Its wheels have been knocked around a fair bit and hand painted with a paint from my dad's garage, I think, but it came out okay. I resisted the temptation to do it in winter camouflage. So, new lows of public unprofessionalism have been reached. I hope it made some kind of sense, and who knows what's next? Quite clearly I haven't got a clue. See ya.